Tonight on Y News. First fatality reported in Leyte as Typhoon Ursula lashes parts of Visayas. Typhoon Ursula damages houses and causes power interruption in Northern Cebu towns. Over 23,000 passengers spend their holidays at air, sea, and bus ports across the country. The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council explains technical issue caused wrong tropical cyclone wind signal advisory to Metro Manila residents. And Mamburao Mindoro begs off hosting of Palarong Pambansa 2020. Good evening. One person has been confirmed dead in Abuyog Town, Leyte, as Typhoon Ursula lashes the province. The full extent of damages caused by the tropical storm is still being measured. Jeneline Gakit Valles has the details.
The Leyte Provincial Risk Reduction and Management Council, or PDRRMC, has reported a cap tide of electrocution as Typhoon Ursula continues to batter the municipality of Abuyog.
May nagita casualty yan dito ha Abuyog kagabi sa mantong pulis na electrocuted na kuryente ya. So amon ton casualty yan ang usa.
Governor Leopoldo Dominico Pitilla confirmed this as the first fatality due to the typhoon. Meanwhile, disaster authorities have begun clearing operations on major roads in the province to make them passable for emergency and relief workers. Authorities also noted a number of damaged utility posts and cables aside from uprooted trees. Response teams are doubling their efforts to speed up the clearing work to restore power lines as soon as possible, according to Monghe.
Kinahanglanon nato ng fuel, so amo to aton mga barantayan nato sa accessibility, kita aton mga sarakyan, amo to kinahanglan. So kinahanglan ma-clear ko dito ang mga roads as per Governor's instruction.
As expected, passengers remain stranded at ports and terminals in Leyte due to lack of transportation service. Communication line is also cut in the most parts of the province. Jeneline Gakit Valles, UNTV News and Rescue, Tacloban City.
Destructive winds and intense rainfall affected parts of Visayas due to the onslaught of Typhoon Ursula. Several road signs were damaged while roofs were ripped apart in Bantayan, Cebu, where tropical cyclone wind signal number 3 was raised. Some lampposts in the town have also been toppled by the violent winds. A total of 400 families from 21 barangays have been evacuated since Tuesday evening. The entire Bantayan is experiencing power outage along with the towns of Pilar, Catmon, San Remigio, Santa Fe, San Francisco, Bantayan, Madridejos, and Pogo City. 3 barangays in Borbon is also experiencing power interruptions. Meanwhile, the Metro Cebu Water District announced today that the heavy downpour brought by Typhoon Ursula also affected their water source in Northern Cebu. Meanwhile, 700 passengers have been crowding the port of Lucena since the cancellation of sea trips last Monday due to Typhoon Ursula. Port authorities appeal to the public to coordinate with shipping companies before coming to the ports. Jafet Cablaida reports why.
The number of passengers stranded at the Lucena port is more than its capacity, according to the port management. From only more than 600 yesterday, the port's reception area is now crowded with at least 700 sea passengers. Some of them are bound for their homes in Marinduque and Romblon, while others choose to stay and wait for the resumption of trips. But the Philippine Ports Authority or PPA officials of Lucena assure the travelers affected by the trip cancellations amid the prevailing storm will be provided with food, drinking water, and access to clean restrooms.
Kinakaya naman po kasi no choice po tayo kasi tulad niyan po maulan po yung panahon ngayon, kailangan din po talagang alagaan natin ang ating mga mahal na pasahero.
Although carton boards have already been distributed by the PPA as makeshift mats, the stranded passengers are hoping to have better sleeping areas in case they need to stay a little longer at the port.
May mga anak po, yung higaan po. Wala, karton lang. Bumibili sila ng karton. Yung iba.
Ang pakiusap lang po namin dun sa aming mga pasahero ay yung fully cooperation lang po nila kasi lahat naman po tayo stranded po dito sa pier at ginagawan po namin sila ng paraan, inaalagaan sa nararapat po dahil tayo nga po ay public service.
As passenger arrival at the Lahican Pier continues, the port management appeals to the public to coordinate with the shipping companies for the schedule of their sea travel. Japet Kablayda, UNTV News and Rescue, Lucena City.
More than 23,000 passengers hoping to travel for the holiday season remain stranded at bus, sea, and airports across the country, authorities say. Damage assessment is underway according to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The Philippine Coast Guard or PCG continues to ban trips of ro-ro vessels and boats from various seaports across the country. According to the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRMC, 3,253 roll-on, roll-off and cargo vessels number are grounded, while 157 merchant vessels and 46 motor bancas are also prohibited to sail. Due to this, bus trips going to the Visayas and other island destinations remain cancelled as well. As of 12 noon today, several airline companies have also announced cancellations of 63 domestic flights.
Medyo lumakas po itong bagyo at yung mga dinaanan po ni Tisoy noon, parang ito rin yung dinalaw po ni Bagyong Ursula.
The NDRMC also reports that as of now, more than 23,000 passengers are stranded at various seaports, terminals, and airports in the country. As Ursula continues to ravage other parts of the country, some areas in the Visayas experience flooding. This bus terminal in Carles is now submerged in floodwater, while a mall in Rojas City was damaged.
Yung mga kasamahan po natin sa ground, yung mga nasa Region 8, nagsisimula na po sila mag-conduct ng assessment, ng damage assessment to sa area.
The NDRMC continues to monitor the situation in the areas affected by Typhoon Ursula. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue.
Ursula maintains its strength and is now off the coast of Magsaysay, Occidental Mindoro. Pag-asa located the eye of Typhoon Ursula at 4 p.m. today, 15 kilometers southwest of San Jose, Occidental Mindoro. Packed with maximum sustained winds of up to 140 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 195 kilometers per hour. It is moving west-northwest at 20 kilometers per hour. Tropical cyclone wind signal number 3 is raised over southern Oriental Mindoro, southern Occidental Mindoro, Calamian Islands, and Caluya. Signal number 2 is raised over Romblon, Batangas, Marinduque, the rest of Oriental Mindoro, and the rest of Occidental Mindoro, including Lubang Island, Puyo Islands, extreme northern portion of mainland Palawan, northern Antique, and northwestern Aklan. Signal number 1, on the other hand, is raised over Bataan, Cavite, Laguna, the rest, northern mainland Palawan, southern portion of Quezon, Capiz, the rest of Antique, and the rest of Aklan. Ursula is expected to exit the Philippines landmass tonight or tomorrow morning. Are you one of those cell phone users in Metro Manila who received wrong information about the prevailing tropical cyclone wind signal in your area? Instead of signal number 1, the text message read signal number 2. Vincent Arboleda will explain why.
Metro Manila residents received an advisory yesterday from the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council or NDRRMC. The content of the text message reads, "Signal number 2 is now raised in your area. Expect strong wind with rain within 24 hours. Many were baffled as this was contrary to the Philippine Atmospheric Geophysical Astronomical Services Administration or PAG-ASA's weather advisory that Metro Manila is under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 and not signal number 2. Most residents in Metro Manila received the text message twice. The NDRRMC explains a technical issue occurred in the distribution system of the telecommunication companies, which resulted in Metro Manila being added to areas that would receive the message.
For example po, kahapon, ang dapat makatanggap lang po nun ay mga areas under signal number 2. Mukhang dahil po dun sa technical issue na na-encounter na yan, pati yung mga areas na signal number 1, nakatanggap din ng messages.
The signal towers tasked to send advisory to cell phone users must have been affected by the typhoon, the NDRMC spokesperson adds.
Kasi ang binagbabatayan po niyan yung mga signal towers natin. Siguro po hindi naging available yung signal tower doon sa particular area na yun because of the storm. So ang nangyari po niyan is nag-alternative signal towers. Kaya yung area yung signal towers na nakasakop dito sa Manila, nakatanggap din ng message by accident.
The NDRRMC is in charge of creating such advisory, while the telecommunication companies handles its distribution to areas concerned. Under the law, the message should not be charged, as such advisory is part of the responsibilities of telcos. The NDRRMC is coordinating closely with telcos to ascertain the incident will not happen again. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Mamburao town in Occidental Mindoro has earlier begged off its hosting of the Palarong Pambansa 2020. Instead, Marikina City will organize the first Palarong Pambansa of the new decade. Sherwin Kulubong tells us why.
Be completely restored after the lashing of Typhoon Tisoy early this month. With this, the provincial government and the local government unit of Mamburao has begged off as the host of the first Palarong Pambansa of the new decade. Governor Eduardo Gadiano explains they see the need to use the funds allotted for the hosting of the Palarong Pambansa for providing assistance to residents affected by Typhoon Tisoy instead.
Kahit naman sabi ko, magpalaro tayo ng gagastos tayo ng milyon-milyon yan, tapos mga kababayan natin, hindi natin matulungan.
A state of calamity continues to prevail across the province. Provincial Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office or PDRRMO Officer in Charge Mario Molingbayan has earlier reported the cost of damages caused by Typhoon Tisoy in the province reached over 800 million pesos.
Bigyan natin po ng mas magandang palalagyan ang kanilang mga hinaing.
The Department of Education has earlier confirmed that Marikina City will replace Mamburao as the host of the next year's Palaro. Sherwin Kulubong, UNTV News and Rescue.
Welcome back to Y News, and here are the headlines. Lambanog samples from Rizal in Laguna province test positive for high levels of methanol. Sharif Agwak Vice Mayor Ahmad Ampatuan survives ambush in Maguindanao town. The Philippine National Police urged to monitor and address rising kidnapping cases involving Pogo workers. The Bureau of Correction frees 57 GCTA returnees from the new Bilibid Prison. And in the know, jobs with no holidays. Samples of the lambanog or coconut wine that killed at least 15 in Laguna tested positive for high levels of methanol. Nina Armilio details why.
5 out of 7 samples of lambanog or coconut wine have tested positive for high levels of methanol, the Food and Drug Administration said today. The samples, which were collected from Rizal Town in Laguna, contained 11.4% to 18.2% methanol, known as wood alcohol, a flammable and poisonous liquid. These samples were retrieved from Ray Lambanog, Emma's Lambanog store, and Orlando Mapa store. Ingestion of at least 30 milliliters of methanol is potentially fatal, the FDA said. Absorption through the skin or via inhalation may also lead to toxic effects, with methanol being converted to formaldehyde and formic acid in the liver.
Kasi nga nagpo-form ng acid sa katawan yung methanol dahil hindi siya na-digest ng ating atay. At kapag tuloy-tuloy, maaari talagang ikapatay. Maaari din yung ating bituka, yung tiyan, yung optic nerve, kaya may mga napupulag at lahat din ng ibang organ sa ating katawan.
Manufacturers of alcoholic drinks are required to secure a license to operate and to register their products so that these can be monitored regularly.
May mga produkto po kasi na high risk kasama itong ating mga alcoholic beverages na kung maaari po wag talaga po tayong bibili at iinom ng mga hindi rehistrado sa FDA. Kasi ibig sabihin hindi natin na-monitor ito, hindi natin alam kung saan gawa, kung paano ginawa, at mahirap po nating mabigyan ng assurance ng safety ang publiko.
At least 15 people have died from suspected poisoning after reportedly consuming lambanog, according to authorities. 3 of the victims were from Quezon Province, while 12 were from Rizal, Laguna, causing Governor Ramil Hernandez to ban its sale in the province. Nino Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue, Philippines.
Several persons who have knowledge of the Ampatuan massacre case have earlier expressed fears due to threats to their lives. And just yesterday, one of the witnesses against the accused Ampatuans, who himself carries the surname Ampatuan, was surprised with an attack. Luckily, he survived. Dante Amento tells us why.
Sheriff Aguac Municipal Vice Mayor Ahmad Ampatuan is now in stable condition. This after he, his driver, and his bodyguard were ambushed when they were plying Sheriff Aguac Highway, Maguindanao yesterday. The Vice Mayor survived, but his 2 companions died.
Ongoing investigation ang ginagawa dyan. Mahirap na mag-circulate na hindi pa tapos yung investigation. Pero isa yan siya sa mga nag-witness. Again, doon sa mga suspect ng Maguindanao massacre.
The Vice Mayor belongs to the powerful Ampatuan clan. He testified against the Ampatuans accused in the 2009 massacre of more than 50 individuals that shocked the country. He became an ally of the Mangudadatos, the main complainant in the case. Authorities say 2 or 3 suspects fired at the victims who were then on board a Toyota Innova. Investigation continues for the possible motive in the incident. Congressman Ismael Toto Mangudadato meanwhile has information that somebody saw and identified one of the perpetrators. The lawmaker is in Davao City to visit the Vice Mayor in hospital.
Nakita siya nakilala nila. Basta, tatanungin ko pa kasi kararating ko lang ng Davao, pupunta ako sa hospital.
The incident happened 5 days after the monumental promulgation of judgment in the Ampatuan massacre case. 43 of the accused in the case were convicted, including Zaldi and Andal Ampatuan Jr., the primary suspects in the gruesome killings. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue.
A lawmaker urged the Philippine National Police, or PNP, to closely monitor the Philippine offshore gaming operators, or Pogo, following the rise of kidnappings and other crimes involving Pogo workers in the country. In a statement, Senator Joe L Villanueva said the reported spate of kidnappings of Pogo employees allegedly committed by fellow Chinese nationals support their theory that the negative effects of the industry outweigh any benefit that the country may get from the proliferation of Pogos and Pogo service providers. Villanueva also noted the explanation of police officials that one of the reasons why these abductions are happening is the seemingly unfamiliarity of Chinese employers to the country's laws. Villanueva, who chairs the Senate Committee on Labor and Employment, also revealed that his panel is planning to hold a legislative hearing on the issue in January 2020. He said they intend to include the information provided by the police on the rising incidences of kidnapping involving Chinese nationals during the said hearing. Meanwhile, more than 100 individuals who used to be behind bars step out as freemen from the new Bilibid Prison amid the holiday season. Some of them are Good Conduct Time Allowance or GCTA returnees. MC Reli Cordova reports why.
Over 100 persons deprived of liberty were released from the new Bilibid Prisons or NBP in Muntinlupa City yesterday. 57 of them are Good Conduct Time Allowance or GCTA returnees. They're among those instructed by the government last September to return to the NBP. 59 others were released yesterday after being granted parole. According to the Bureau of Corrections, they will release more PDLs so that they can be with their loved ones this long holiday.
Based po sa aming evaluation, nakita po namin na kahit yung mga convicted na mabababa lang yung sentensya, for example, homicide, estafa, meron pang ang TEP nag-surrender because nabigyan ng GCTA. So, yun po yung qualified PDL na before na nag-surrender because of the pronouncement of our beloved President. So, base po sa aming masusing evaluation ng mga karapeta nila, they really deserve to be set free.
According to Bucor, over 1,000 GCTA returnees will undergo the evaluation process.
It has started already, and it will continue as there are records that are finished and evaluated. Tuloy-tuloy po yung pagpaparelease. Pwede natin sabihin by batch, but as pag may naipon, release. Pag may naipon, release. Kasi ang direksyon ni Director General Bantag ay bilisan. In compliance with the directive of our beloved President.
Bucor has also announced that they are still in need of 1,000 correction officers, including nurses, teachers, doctors, and lawyers. For interested applicants, just contact the Bucor office. Macreli Cordova, UNTV, News and Rescue, Muntinlupa City.
While most people take their vacation, travel, shop, and party during the holiday season, vendors and other small entrepreneurs observe no holiday even during this time of year. Asher Kadapan Jr. tells us why.
Holidays are always a good opportunity to relax and spend quality time with loved ones. After the hard work, what better things there to do than to enjoy the fruit of one's labor? Like the Sarmientos, who took their time to visit Luneta Park and cherish the moment together.
Nakaka-relax. Kasi alam mo, sa totoo lang, may negosyo kami sa Bulacan. Sabi ko sa mga anak ko, mag-relax naman tayo kahit hindi muna tayo magtinda ng 1-2 araw. Relax muna.
But here in Luneta, not only the holiday makers are found, but also those not on holiday mode. Just Jesus Conde, who is among the hundreds of vendors here. Conde finds this time of year as a good opportunity to make some profit instead of merrymaking.
Bisa magpahinga, hindi. Kasi dito kami kumikita, kami mga vendors dito sa Luneta eh. Kasi halos lahat dito sa Luneta eh, ano kami, yung mga pamilya eh. Dito namin kinukuha yung mga pangpaaral ng mga anak namin eh.
Even Gildo Salino has also been looking forward to the holiday season for a chance to have earned. Despite the availability of high-tech gadgets that enable people to immortalize special moments, the 68-year-old grabbed the opportunity to provide photography service for the park goers.
Hanggat kaya ko gagawin ko. Ayaw ko umasa sa iba eh. Ayaw ko sabihin ibang tao, sa mga anak ko. Hindi ba hanggat kaya ko gagawin ko? Hanggat malakas pa ako.
Although deprived from relaxation and vacation, vendors enjoyed the holiday season working as if getting double pay and work bonus with a profit larger than that earned on regular days of the year. Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue, City of Manila.
While many enjoy the holiday, spending time with their families or even traveling, there are also those who work hard even during the holiday season. You may even meet some of them in the streets or in other public places. Anel Maribuhok will tell us why.
This is the season to be jolly for most Filipinos who visit their relatives in provinces to spend the December holiday together. But there are also those who respond to the call of duty and instead of celebrating, they go to work. One of them is Roberto de la Rama, a member of the Quezon City Department of Public Order and Safety or DPOS, tasked to manage traffic on Aurora Boulevard. Although it's a holiday today, he made himself available to serve the public instead of being with his family.
To rough duty. Talaga parang pulis yan eh. Walang pinipiling araw, kahit holiday. Kahit may sakit ka, minsan tatangkaso, kailangan pumasok ka.
Roberto and his colleagues busied themselves in the streets to ensure road safety for motorists and pedestrians. We can also see police officers deployed in different areas in Metro Manila this time of year. From the streets to bus terminals and other public conveyances, they implement security measures. This is to ensure that travelers are safe.
Ginagawa po namin ito lahat para sa bayan. Sinumpaan tungkulin po namin na maglingkod para sa bayan kahit holiday. Kahit na hindi kami makasama ng pamilya namin tuwing holiday, basta maglingkod kami para sa bayan.
Even Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA are ready to respond to the needs of motorists even on December 25. Several other agencies and department personnel assigned in disasters and emergencies who are not spending the day as a rest day. The list of jobs with no holidays include members of the media or journalists. Their mandate is to give the public fresh news and current situations in the country. These are just some of the personalities who are remarkable in their dedication to their jobs and professions for the sake of public service. Nel Maribuho, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Tourists continue to arrive in the city of Pines to enjoy the holiday season. Despite the influx of tourists, city ordinances are strictly implemented. Grace Casin tells us why.
Thousands of local and foreign tourists have arrived now in Baguio City to spend their vacation. Authorities expect the numbers to increase until the first week of January. Because of this, police personnel are operating and monitoring strategic points round the clock to ensure the safety of the tourists and the residents and to prevent any untoward incidents.
We will focus or concentrate on traffic control and direction. Yun lang ang pwede natin gawin sa ngayon. Dahil hindi naman natin pwedeng pagbawalan na pumasok lahat. Ang pakiusap lang natin is sana maging disiplinado lang.
Tourist destinations in the city are already crowded, including the Mines View Park. Some tourists say they are amazed with the strict implementation of city ordinances such as no smoking policy.
Una yung no smoking, yung maganda. Ako naninigarilyo, disiplinado na ko, binawas ko. Maganda yung, at saka yung mga pulis natin dito, maayos sila, wala yung kagaya sa ibang lugar.
The Burnham Park remains to attract tourists who enjoy the boat rides while watching the magnificent surroundings.
I-schedule namin ang lakad namin paggabi, dapat within the town ka lang, yung walking distance para hindi ka pagod. So yung mga malalayo namin, we schedule it in the morning, like yung strawberry, mga dito, then yung malalayo.
Baguio City also implements the one-way traffic scheme, in which those entering the city are allowed to pass. Public utility jeepneys can easily be accessed. However, booking a hotel room may not be easy as this time. That is why many families book earlier, like the Akibars, who came all the way from Batangas.
Okay naman, masaya. Sobrang saya, nag-enjoy kami. Bago kami pumunta, nag-reserve na kami ng bahay.
To enjoy your stay in the city and your visit to tourist destinations, one tip is to wake up early and choose the Mines View Park. From there, you can walk to the Mansion House and the Wright Park for those who want to try horseback riding. From the Wright Park, visit the Botanical Garden to enjoy the fresh air. The temperature in Baguio now ranges from 16 to 20 degrees Celsius. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue.
Shopping may be fun and enjoyable for many of us, but sometimes we find ourselves with empty pockets at the end of the day of shopping. Hence, it's better to learn how to spend practically instead of lavishly. Dante Amento tells us why.
Are you fond of buying new clothes or gadgets during the holiday season? Or perhaps you spend a lot with the aim to throw a huge party for friends, family and colleagues? Many do so, but there are also those who think themselves after realizing practical spending is what's right now.
Yung mga kailangan lang, tsaka yung tama lang sa pera, hindi ubos-ubos.
Dapat lang maging practical. Kasi mahirap maghanap buhay ngayon, di ba? Mahirap po ang pera.
According to Kuya Daniel Roson, it is ideal to plan how to spend hard-earned money and not to spend beyond your means.
Ubus-ubos biyaya, pagkatapos nakatunganga. Pagka meron ng dumating na pera, sige, gastos ng gastos. After that, wala na. So, hindi tayo nakakapagplano ng maganda.
For instance, when it comes to your 13th month pay, think of ways on how to earn additional income instead of giving priority to acquiring things which may not even be necessary in the long run.
Siguro mas maganda, pagplano ninyo. At yung inyong paggastos ay maging batay doon sa inyong pangangailangan, maging batay doon sa ano ba yung nandun sa range ng inyong klase ng pagkita.
Vendor Milva Silva, meanwhile, believes many Filipinos have learned how to observe practical spending. Silva, who has been a vendor for about 14 years, admits her sales have been lower compared with how much she used to earn in previous years.
Noong isang taon po bumibenta kami ng 10,000. Ngayon po, hirapin na kami maka 5,000. Katulad maghapon kami nagtinda.
Hard-earned money spent easily may not be wise, though one might say, it's my money anyway. But it's still better to think for tomorrow and to plan your spending. Dan Diamento, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. Businesses in Padada, Davao del Sur are gradually recovering after the December 15 earthquake. This is despite several challenges faced by the local government concerning the complaints of market vendors. Janice Inhente explains why.
10 days has passed since the fourth earthquake recorded in Davao del Sur this year took place. Reports indicate that Padada, Hagunoy, Matanao, and Magsaysay towns are among the hardest hit. The UNTV news team is among the witnesses of how residents and business in Padada and the municipality itself are gradually recovering from the 6.9 magnitude earthquake. Melfi De Quilla works in this store as a cashier. Her employer sped up the putting up of this store after they were disallowed by the local government to continue their business, which used to be located in front of the collapsed grocery store where 3 died. Melfi said their sales have been lower because some of their patrons are not aware the store had been relocated. Fruit vendor Corazon Sanoria, on the other hand, immediately looked for a space where she can continue selling her products after the earthquake. She explains that police have prohibited them from vending in the previous stalls because of the damages and cracks caused by the quake. Richard Pitalcorin Jr. meanwhile has found a way to earn a living as he built a small store inside the evacuation center where his family is staying at. He shares they are temporarily not allowed to operate their business in a market in the town. Padada Mayor Pedro Caminero Jr. admits one of the challenges entrepreneurs are facing now is the renewal of business license.
Ang problema gid sa amuang
He says he will bring the matter up to the municipal council, which can decide on whether to allow the extension of the licenses without renewing them for now. Based on data from LGU, about 700 businessmen in the town are economically affected by the earthquake. The local government is looking for ways to support local businessmen to continue their livelihood. This is aside from the effort to assist residents who lost their jobs after the quake.
From now on, siguro
Mayor Caminero says he is asking for 60 days, within which he will address the problems and complaints in the town's market.
daghan kayong problema sulod sa palengke.
Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue, Padada, Davao del Sur.
And for the news abroad, President Donald Trump dismisses North Korea's holiday gift for U.S.
President Donald Trump on Tuesday downplayed North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's threat to send a holiday present to Washington. Trump made the statement during an event at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, Florida.
We'll see what happens. Well, let's see. Maybe it's a nice present. Maybe it's a present where he sends me a beautiful vase as opposed to a missile test.
North Korea set a year-end deadline for resuming the stalled denuclearization talks and receiving a new proposal from the United States. The bilateral negotiations have not progressed since the failed February summit in Hanoi, where Washington considered Pyongyang's offer regarding the dismantling of its nuclear arsenal insufficient and refused to lift the sanctions on the regime. Since then, Kim's regime has conducted several weapons tests and toughened its rhetoric against the White House. The two sides held a working meeting in early October in Stockholm, Sweden, that ended with North Korea accusing Washington of failing to offer anything new and maintaining a hostile policy. Experts said that if the talks do not resume, the North Korean regime could carry out new weapons tests starting in January, especially tests of intermediate-range missiles. The United States, for its part, wants North Korea to give up its entire nuclear arsenal before removing the sanctions imposed on Pyongyang. Trump and Kim met briefly along the North Korea-South Korea border in June, with the U.S. leader becoming the first sitting president to set foot in North Korea.
We'll find out what the surprise is, and we'll deal with it very successfully. Let's see what happens. Everybody's got surprises for me, but let's see what happens. I handle them as they come along.
Leah Panganiban-Salar, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
Lebanese journalists face violence and abuse amid ongoing protests in the country. Kath Dumaraos reports.
Lebanese journalists have suffered attacks, labor dispute, and lack of resources amid anti-government protests. Some of them were attacked while reporting on demonstrations which have entered its second month. Megaphone, a recently launched news platform, is independent and not funded by any political party. With its limited resources, it is one of the few independent news platforms in Lebanon that reported on the revolution in the country.
It was important for us to be on the ground covering the events and trying to counter the fake news that's been spreading, whether it's on WhatsApp, through electronic army, or through mainstream media. And with all the blackout that's been happening with media and them not being on the ground covering certain issues, it's important for us to be there and to work on countering the prevailing discourse.
In a fully politicized scene, young journalists have struggled to confront traditional media outlets with limited resources. Reporters Without Borders, which ranked Lebanon 101 out of 180 on the World Press Freedom Index, said the country's media are outspoken but also extremely politicized and polarized. Its newspapers, radio stations, and TV channels serve as the mouthpieces of political parties or businessmen. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
Meanwhile, rhino poaching hit a record level in Botswana. However, the Botswanan government stressed that it has strengthened its efforts to tackle the poaching problem. Nina Armilio reports.
A total of 31 rhinos have been killed by poachers in Botswana in the last 15 months. Local authorities said there has been a significant increase in the number of animals killed in the Okavango Delta in the north of the African country since October 2018. A total of 23 white rhinos and 8 black rhinos were illegally slain, according to the Ministry of Environment, Natural Resources Conservation and Tourism. Both species are also at risk of extinction in Africa due to a huge surge in poaching to meet demand for illegal rhino horn, primarily in Asia. Conservation organizations warned in October the mammals could disappear in Botswana by 2022 if current levels of poaching are maintained. The Botswanan government said it has strengthened its efforts to tackle the poaching problem and has seized horns and weapons. The current population of rhinos in the southern African country is slightly above 400, and most live in the Okavango Delta area. Nina Armilio, UNTV News and Rescue.
A Senegalese artist who makes sculptures gives discarded old bicycles a second life. Let's watch this.
When Maisaya Fall looks at a bicycle, he sees fish, birds, people, boats, and planes. The two-wheeled vehicles are the primary raw materials he uses for his artworks. Born in the historic Senegalese city of St. Louis in 1964, Fall sees himself as a repairman of bicycles, motorcycle, and even cars. The grandson and son of bicycle repairers, Fall has now added art to the family trade. The bicycle sculptor says life is not enough to do everything in his head. He sits on a stool made of bicycle fragments that cram his small workshop and hang in a haphazard way from the walls. Each of Fall's creation has a story and a life of its own. The artist began to see human and animal shapes in bikes as a child while cleaning the vehicles and helping his father in the workshop on days when he had no school. But as the use of bicycles began to dwindle in favor of other means of transport, the footfall of customers also fell. Behind each of his works, there is not only art, but also a reflection. For Fall, creating these works of art and giving bicycle parts a new lease in life is an efficient way to recycle. He added that it is not necessary to cut down a tree to make a sculpture. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
December is called by many as the season of giving and the season of love. But is this the only time of the year to share love and forgive? Rosalie Cos reports.
For many, Christmas means a time for merrymaking, a time for celebrating, but also the time for loving and sharing. Many even call the December holiday as the season for giving. But should giving and helping others be seasonal? And what really is the meaning of Christmas?
Ang Pasko si Kristo, araw-araw susunod tayo. At pagkasusunod tayo araw-araw kay Kristo, ay magkakaroon ng kapayapaan ng ating buhay.
More than the date that is celebrated through warm parties and other fun traditions, if everyone will truly love God and fellow humans, no one will die of hunger, no one will be maltreated and cheated, and no one will think ill of others. The season of love will be not only in December, but every day of our existence.
Ang pag-ibig sa Diyos ay napapatunayan sa pag-ibig sa kapwa. Yan po pinakamahalagang utos. Wala nang mas mahalaga dyan. Ibigin mo ang kapwa gaya ng iyong sarili.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV, News and Rescue.
There is a saying, sharing is caring, and during the holiday season, it has been a norm to prepare bountiful meals at parties and family gatherings. But seldom do we realize that there are some people who do not have anything, not even a table, much more food on it. Joanne Nano met one of them, and here's her report.
It has been a tradition for many to celebrate during the holiday season. Most people are busy with parties, reunions, and bonding with loved ones, with sumptuous meals on the dining table. But not known to many, there are some people who have nothing to eat amid the prosperous and extravagant celebrations of some. Like June Lozano has been staying on this footbridge for several months now with no roof on his head, no complete meals to enjoy. Lozano has no family of his own. He works as a barker when opportunity comes, but most of the time beg for alms, for food or anything that passers-by may want to share with him.
Talagang minsan, parang ano na po ako sa maghapon o sa magdamag, hindi ako makatulog dahil wala nga ako laman yung sikmura ko. Pero naano ko na lang po na nandiyan po siya, hindi niya po ako papabayaan. Tubig, laging tubig na lang po, ganun lang po ginagawa ko.
Seeing the likes of Lozano, we feel compassion to our fellow men and realize how fortunate we are that we can eat 3 meals a day. But it is also saddening that while others live a prosperous life, there are those who forget to share their blessings to those in need. This is what makes members Church of God International or MCGI peculiar, as the group conducts Fiesta ng Diyos or feast dedicated to God to gather and invite those who are called by many less fortunate people, the elderly, and persons with disabilities. The celebration of the feast dedicated to God is a one-of-a-kind event different from usual and traditional gatherings. Here, indigent people, the seniors in life, and the PWDs are served delicious and free food. They can also bring home free clothes. They receive small gifts to bring simple happiness.
Kahit yung pinakamahirap na tao sa kalye, may kaluluwa po yun. Meron po yung damdamin, nasasaktan, nagugutom. Kahit gaano kahirap ang tao, mahalaga po sa Diyos yan. Kaya utos ng Diyos, lingapin ang mahirap ang mga babaeng bao, ang mga ulila. Yan po ang misyon ng dating daan sa buong mundo.
Useless, others may call them. We may not even realize it, but encountering them is an opportune time to do good. We must always put in our minds what the Bible says. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. Joanalo, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this December 25, 2019. I am William Theo, and because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.